And we're live. Hey, everybody, this is AllThatPat and Lord Cash. This is the Slam Nation as part of the New York Nerd Show Network. How's it going, Lord Cash?
I'm doing pretty well here, just living the dream, just loving life.
Yeah, it's great to hear that because, I mean, things are kind of crappy all around the world now, but we got to find that excitement and find that positivity. And, you and I together with professional wrestling, we can definitely bring that light. We can, what is it? What does the New Day say? The
Power of
power of
positive.
positivity. Yeah, you got it. But, Lord Cash, you bringing the pancakes?
They're cooking downstairs.
All right, you have to do a nice delivery on those.
There we
So
go.
last night was the 30th anniversary of the Undertaker's, debut at the original 1990 Survivor Series. What were you looking for going into this?
I just wanted to be entertained. I wanted some good matches. I wanted to see things, just some good matches out there. They've built up the storylines, through Raw and SmackDown, and I just wanted to see them actually pay off.
Definitely, and like as far as like the Undertaker himself goes, I mean, you and I have known each other for quite some time, and there have been some pretty historical Undertaker matches. And before we went on the air, you had mentioned a little bit about like the um when Undertaker fought Roman Reigns at, I believe it was WrestleMania 32, and how we thought that might have been like the perfect ending for him.
Right. I believe that's the one where he left his coat and his hat out in the ring, and and he walked away. We thought that was it. That was the last. Of course, he's made a couple appearances since then, doing some of the stuff overseas as well as here, and again having another match at this year's WrestleMania. The
Like the
not a
bone, yeah,
boneyard
yeah.
match.
I think it was the Boneyard match. He basically fought AJ Styles, on that
Right.
cinematic match.
So you had your theatrical match there that essentially would be his last, and just having that when he was actually in the ring with people, his fans that he's been surrounded by for the past 30 years. Um, that should have been the end of it. At least that's what we were led to believe.
Right.
Granted, nothing was said; it was just implied. So shame on us for thinking that, but it just that's what we were led to believe. I'm sure that's probably what his intentions was until he got a phone call from Vince McMahon saying, "Hey, buddy, come on back for one more time. Come on back for one more time." And he loves the fans. He loves the company. That why not? He just gives one more show, and he just keeps doing it over and over again.
Yeah, I agree. And and it's funny, like going into last night's event, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I didn't know if he was going to get attacked by like the Fiend or something. If he really was going to do a retirement speech. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, but it was pretty, straightforward, as we'll talk about a little bit later in our show today.
Yeah, they just kept saying, it's the 30th anniversary, the 30th anniversary. It's been 30 years, and it was like a farewell to the Undertaker, but they never really told us what this was going to be. So what they did, I liked on some levels, and some I have some comments and concerns over, but that'll be towards the later piece of our conversation.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, our show last night actually started with the men's Royal Rumble. Not quite there yet. It started with the men's match, the 5-on-5 traditional match for Raw versus SmackDown. What were your first takeaways when some of the basically the competitors came into the ring?
So as far as like when they were coming down to the ring, or once they got into the ring.
Yeah, because like when it first started, like the first thing that caught my mind is that Fox had definitely paid more money than USA because, as you can see in the image, SmackDown was like ablazoned with the big Fox logo, like right on the hard camera. So it's kind of like I thought it was like advertising for that network.
Quite possibly, and I almost think that might have been just a coincidence. Then again, I could be completely wrong as far as who goes on the left side versus the right.
Right.
The red shirts had USA, if I'm not mistaken, on the back.
Yeah.
Because I know at least I saw the Miz, when he was wearing his, that it had USA on it. I don't think I actually noticed that until that image right there that I actually picked that up. So that's a little amusing for me, just what you see and what you don't see and what you're paying attention to at the heat of the moment. Um, the kind of the thing that surprised me is who started the match. You know, for Raw, you had AJ Styles, who is the self-proclaimed leader. He put himself out there. But did SmackDown really have a leader? Was it Seth Rollins? You
Yeah.
know,
It wasn't Otis. I can tell you that.
right. There really wasn't anybody that I was aware of that had made that claim, so to speak. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was there a shakeup in the roster like within the last week, or did I just read something weird?
No, you didn't. And that was the thing that was kind of like interesting is that Survivor Series has become about brand supremacy. It's like the All-Star game for WWE where like the two
Right.
brands, show loyalty even if they're like hard to get along. But yeah, literally there was a roster shakeup, a draft. I think it was 3 weeks ago. So you've got like a guy like AJ Styles who spent the better part of 3 years as the face that runs the place on SmackDown. And all of a sudden he comes to Raw and he's like, "Oh, Monday Night Raw is the best." And it's like these guys haven't had the opportunity to really show that they are, actually loyal to any particular brand. So that was kind of questionable timing for the draft. I don't know why they didn't wait till afterwards, because again, it kind of, I think it put a little bit of a damper and confusion onto the actual event in general.
Right. So what I'm actually referring to is I thought I read something that there was 3 open spots like within the last week that they finalized the last 3. I don't know if it was on SmackDown this week or if it was just a late blurb I read off online.
Yeah, no, you're correct. It happened in the women's match as well, where basically what you had was like on the men's side, Otis just came in out of the blue. He got picked. Whereas other guys had to actually qualify. Jay Uso beat Daniel Bryan to get in. But again, Otis just got picked. Keith Lee, I think, had to qualify.
Yeah.
So it was a whole lot of shakeups. On the women's side, there's injuries and other things that kind of like made it, a little wonky. But, either way, onto the actual match itself, it started a little weird too. You talked about with Seth coming out, but I'm sorry, with AJ coming out, I'm going to my next thing is Seth Rollins' elimination was questionable. It was very
What was that all
interesting.
about?
Well,
I I understand, he's the Monday Night Messiah. That's now gone to SmackDown on Fridays. So I don't know what his new moniker name now is over there, but he just kind of came out and was just like for the greater good and allows himself to get kicked in the face and counted out. So
absolutely. And
little
I
Seth
think
Sheamus, right?
yeah, yeah. And I think it was the whole idea. They even called him like a martyr. He went for that gimmick, and from what I'm understanding, he is I don't know if he's be out as of yesterday, or out as of like this week, but Becky Lynch, his fiance, is due with her first child. So it
Okay.
might be just a good way to wipe him out and like at least it fits his character.
Well, I'm
Um,
sure it make sure that he doesn't get injured in the match, because you've got 9 other guys in the ring. Who knows what's going on, especially if they're bouncing back and forth, doing all their finishers at the end. You don't want to take that chance of getting injured and having both of them in the hospital for medical reasons.
yes,
Um,
I think that he'd been a different wing of the hospital should that happen, and that would
quite
not be
possibly.
enjoyable. Um, what did you think about the match in general? I mean, it was a little questionable that Raw had a clean sweep, 5-0. I think it made SmackDown look pretty awful, quite honestly.
Yeah, especially as far as the men's go. I I don't know. I don't think it was needed. That should have been that way. There definitely should have been more of an effort, considering that who the players are. I'm looking at the image there. You've got Kevin Owens. You've got King Corbin. Regardless of what you say about Otis, I think he's good.
I love Otis. I love Otis.
You just love the worm.
I do.
Or the caterpillar.
Caterpillar. He's a big burly guy, so there's no worm. It's fat. Who's the caterpillar? Let's go off topic. Who's the caterpillar on Bug's Life?
Heimlich.
Heimlich. Yeah, he's definitely hitting that Heimlich maneuver. Yeah, he's a big old fat caterpillar like him.
So you've got, and of course, Jey Uso, who's getting that push, being under the hand of Roman Reigns, being part of the family and everything. That there should not have been a clean sweep.
Yeah.
At least one of them should have been able to take out. If nothing else, one might say Riddle's kind of the weaker of the links. At least between him and AJ Styles, they're at least the smallest of the five. That someone like King Corbin or Kevin Owens could have taken one of them out.
Right.
So, but I'm sure there's a storyline there that they're going to be working with and building on. But I don't know. I just don't feel that it should have been a clean sweep like it was.
I agree. I mean, again, like you said, they're probably going to talk about that tonight for sure. I got to say, one of my favorite parts in that whole match was the man meat fest with between Otis and Keith Lee. I think that it was like those guys are like really big guys. They've owned their gimmicks and they're good. And I'd like to see more from them, legitimately, because they couldn't get each other down. When they did hit each other, like it was big. Even Strowman had a really good showing last night as well. I don't think there's too many guys that were disappointing. I mean, obviously Seth Rollins, but again, we talked about a couple minutes ago, that was part of the gimmick, right?
Right.
The final finish, I thought was fantastic with Jey Uso going for a flying splash and Keith Lee catching him and being able to move him around and hit the spirit bomb. I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, that was really nice to see that.
So we're gonna have to see, like you said, I got a lot of notes as far as this match, but we got to keep it going. We want to say welcome to anybody that's joining us tonight. See a couple people in the room. You are witnessing the Slam Nation. This is part of the New York Nerds Network. I'm AllThatPat, joined as always by Lord Cash. Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
So each and every week, which you'll be joining us at 7 p.m., it's a look at basically an old school show. And then at the second half is going to be a look into the future, basically what's going to be happening in the upcoming weeks in professional wrestling. We're always up for suggestions if you have an idea of a show you want us to review. Otherwise, we've got our ideas. We can go ahead and do that. As always, please make sure to subscribe, love, like, thumbs up, all that jazz. Whatever you are watching us on, whether it be on Twitch, Facebook Live, or YouTube Live, we'd love to have you here. We're covering the Survivor Series 2020, last night presented by WWE. Our next match that came up was the two tag team champions, the WWE tag team champions from SmackDown, fighting up against the Raw tag team champions, the legendary New Day, represented by Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. But Lord Cash, did you see what the big news was for the New Day in the video game world?
I'm hoping you have the photo of it, because if not, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. With their entrance coming out with their Gears of War outfit and everything, that was spectacular. Having them come on out with that ring attire for it was absolutely beautiful, wonderful. I'm not a Gears of War player, but it sparked my interest. So
it was a good crossover ability just because of that. It's not super high quality. I did not get that one on our slideshow, but there it is right there for those of you that did not catch that last night. It is straight up like it's a Gears of War like armor, but it's the colors of the New Day. And I actually noticed too, talking about the gear that the New Day's been rocking since last week. They had it last night too. It is a theming of the Schoolhouse Rocks, like the old educational show. Did you catch that?
I have not. I have not been staring at their pants a lot.
Oh, how can you resist? I mean, Kofi hitting that. I'm sorry. Let me move on. But yeah, so like I said, last night the two tag team champions fought in quite the fantastic matchup, and I loved how like the Street Profits being the up and coming tag team, they're really trying to take out the veterans, and did you know like they were actually trying to steal some of their finishing maneuvers?
I saw that. I think it was I'm not sure, I think it was Ford that hit the Trouble in Paradise onto Kofi, which was really cool. I saw that one. I don't think I caught the other ones.
That was the one. Yeah, that was one that they actually hit. There was a moment too where they tried to go for the Midnight Hour, which is the over the shoulder like jumping DDT that they usually do, but they never hit it. They kept trying to put the other guy on their shoulders. I don't know if that was ever announced or maybe I was just reading into it too much. But as soon as he hit the Trouble in Paradise, I was like, oh yeah, no, he was trying to do the Midnight Hour a minute ago.
Right.
Great match. Went like almost 20 minutes. And I think it was the right decision where they put the new up and comers, the Street Profits, actually got over. And I thought that was a really nice idea to get them because New Day doesn't need anything. Let's be real.
No. So I'm going to start off with the complaint I have.
Oh boy.
I know. I'm throwing shade here for a second. All right. What brand are the Street Profits?
I already know where you're going with this. I know. I noticed it too, but go ahead.
They've been doing it since they crossed over. They're on SmackDown. There are blue solo cups. Fire the blue solo cups. They're no longer on Raw. They don't need the red solo cups anymore. I'm just come on, people, get with the program here. You've got to get those color coordinations going on. Get rid of those little red solo cups off your neck, dude. Get the blue ones in. You're on blue brand.
I didn't know she was wearing them too, because what caught my eye when they first came up is that Montez Ford did indeed have a blue solo cup.
Right. Well, it was more like a tumbler.
Right. Yeah.
But that's what I thought it was. But then I'm like, okay, that's actually like an actual hard cup, drinking device. So it wasn't a solo. It was a lot taller than a solo, but still, come on.
Right. Yeah.
They're out there.
That's one thing. That's why we do this show, Lord Cash. Is like we pick up on these things.
And even their and as I call them, stadium graphics, their red solo cups with their Street Profits little graphic that they throw up inside the arena is red. Switch to blue.
With that said, it's kind of take a one step back. Recently, Matt Riddle lost his first name.
Right.
And I have theories about that. That actually might have to do with his legal troubles, but on his graphic, though, it's got the flip-flops, and it actually says MR. So they obviously have not updated their graphics in a while, although the graphics are fantastic just in general. So I think that also speaks to the fact that this event was not planned too carefully in advance. Hence the draft happening 3 weeks ago. And also, they didn't know they were going to put these guys on SmackDown, or else they would have already had those solo cups. Because you could go to Publix tomorrow. I can go to Stop and Shop, wherever you're at. I go buy like 100 packs of those things and throw them off the T-shirt can and be calling it a day.
Exactly.
But the match. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's my little nitpicky comment of the match. Otherwise, I love both teams. New Day, been a fan since I don't want to say day one because that's someone else's gimmick.
Day one-ish.
But no, since when they came out. And they were not really, received that well until they kind of took that little playfulness angle, and then they just skyrocketed. They've been great. I love the energy that we get from the Street Profits. Is just wonderful, and their charisma that they have with each other. They play off each other just as well as the New Day does. I'm definitely, sad to see that Big E is no longer officially a part of the New Day, even though I was like, wait, what's going on here when he walked out with them last night? But I'm sure it was just as far as the promo for the Gears of War, because he was actually holding the belt as he was going out.
Yeah, he absolutely had to be out there just for the fact that, the Gears of War promo, which if you guys haven't heard, if you're into video games, you can get free Gears of War. It's free actually, but it's a downloadable pack featuring the New Day, which is fantastic for them. Because Xavier Woods has been doing the Up Up Down Down show for quite some time, doing a lot of cross promotion. Which are you familiar with Up Up Down Down?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have a belt that's available on the Shop Zone too now.
That's cool. I haven't seen that. Yeah, so like they came out, and then right afterwards they showed the little game trailer for it. So I had to call my daughter, and I'm like, "Get in there, check this out," because she had walked away after seeing them in the ring, and I'm like, "No, there's more. Get back in here."
Right.
So it was just like, that in itself was just cool. I'm like, I might actually dabble a little bit in this, possibly.
Right. So
Uh,
it all ended up with the Street Profits getting the win. That's going to propel them for sure with their Tower Blockbuster. Even after what's his face, Montez Ford did like this crazy frog splash, where one of these days he's going to hit the top of the Thunderdome.
do you think it is the best frog splash as they proclaim?
Yeah, I do. I
It's
do.
pretty. It is pretty nice.
Because he could switch gears just like Rob Van Dam could. Um, it's I think it's even prettier than like an Eddie or a D'Lo. It hasn't won a championship for him singularly. I think that's going to be the big difference maker. I mean,
Right.
Eddie pinned Brock with it, so
Right.
even though it's controversial, but still. Now, if you guys are just joining us, by the way, this is the Slam Nation. You can join us every day. Actually, yeah, every day. I don't think we can commit to that. um, every Monday at 7 p.m. Basically, we take the first half of the show and we look at a nostalgic show, whether it be a Raw, whether it be a pay-per-view, whatever it is. If you guys ever have suggestions, please make sure to let us know. But then the second half of the show, we take a little preview of the upcoming week. Right now, we're basically reviewing last night's WWE Survivor Series 2020, and we're just kind of going through it. And again, the Slam Nation was Lord Cash and I did it a long time ago, and we're just kind of bringing it back as part of the New York Nerds Show Network. So
Well, everyone else is bringing back their, rebooting shows, so why not us?
exactly, and we have the original cast.
Exactly.
So up next, this one's going to be kind of quick, but it was actually kind of amusing too, though. The Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn went one-on-one with the United States Champion Bobby Lashley. A match that it went a little long, but it wasn't. I don't think there was any doubt who was going to win. With
Right.
Lashley winning with his Hurt Lock full Nelson. But I got to tell you, Lord Cash, I am really digging the current character that Sami Zayn is rocking in the WWE right now. Is that like cheesy, smarmy, but intelligent heel?
Right. So, I met someone last year that actually works in the corporate office, and they're like, everyone, they've got their persona that, they've got their, what they show on camera, but then they're completely different, off camera. She was like, Sami Zayn is Sami Zayn. What you see is how he is off camera. So I thought that was interesting that, um, you know, I liked him when he was more of a face, but the fact that I don't like him as much as a heel means he's doing his job correctly.
Interesting. Like I was okay with him either way, not a big fan. But last month when he won the title and it was in the tag match on the ladders with AJ and Jeff Hardy, and he attached the ladder to Jeff Hardy's earring and he tied up AJ, I believe. Like that was the best. Cause he shouldn't win the match, but when he did that, I'm like, you know what? You got me. That was like I love
Right.
that craftiness. It's interesting to hear though that he's kind of like basically I don't want to say the word, but he's not so nice in real life, I guess.
We can say the word tool, right?
Sure. Better than the words I was thinking, Lord Cash.
Exactly. Uh,
Um,
my
yeah,
question to you
yeah.
is, what are your thoughts on the new belts? Because I know we haven't really had a conversation about that, and I don't know if I'm derailing the conversation here a little bit, but I'm just curious.
Nah, it's all good. So basically, they're growing on me. The U.S. belt I like a lot more than the IC belt. I think what's important that it's going to represent eras.
Right.
This era is unfortunately going to be the no fan era in many ways, the Thunderdome era, the screen era. But those belts are very clear for right now. But the U.S. belt looks pretty sharp.
Yeah.
The IC belt. What about you though? In all reality, what's your take on it?
Um, I always enjoy the when the belts get reinvented. Whether it is the W belt going through its transformation from the when John Cena had it to Edge to just Miz carrying it upside down. There's always a reinventing it to their personality. So I like that the secondary belts, if you will, of each brand are getting that love where, okay, yes, we had the original white strap for the IC title come back, and then of course, the US. I want to say it has looked very similar for past 20 years that I've been aware of it. I'm sure it's even been longer. It's got that same look to it where it's got the flag behind it and everything. So now it's got a different look to it and a different feel. And like I
Absolutely.
said, just anytime that you can reinvent something just to make it more relevant, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It has needed an overhaul. I mean, even the IC belt, when they've done different versions of it, they actually kept going back to the old classic from the 80s and 90s. So,
Yeah.
yeah, reinvention because also it's going to sell more merchandise. Let's be real.
Yep.
But yeah, the Hurt Business kept Sammy from trying to cheat and get away. He kept trying to get himself disqualified, but ultimately, the exception was, or the expectation, I should say, was that Lashley made him submit. Now, our next match that we had tonight is that not Becky Lynch. Who am I talking about? That'd be weird if Becky Lynch was wrestling pregnant last night. Not a smart move. But Sasha Banks, the boss, went one-on-one with Asuka in a battle of the two women's champions. And right off the bat, I had a real big problem with this match. Not the match. The match was great. The commentary. All night through this match, I feel that Michael Cole was saying that this is the first time these two have fought this year. Maybe I misheard that, but these guys fought at the Extreme Rules this year. Did I mishear that?
I don't know. I think this is like the first time that they fought on different brands. I don't know. I'm trying to think of where that comment may have come from, because obviously it's not the first time that they fought, because they fought last Survivor Series, or around that time when Asuka took the belt from Sasha,
Wait,
or
I,
was that?
I may be misspeaking. Sorry to interrupt, but I may be speaking that what the comment I meant to say was they said it was the first time that Sasha beat Asuka, but
Okay.
at Extreme Rules, Sasha took the belt from her. That's how Bayley and her became like the dose straps, and they had all the belts. So I think that's what I was trying to get across. Was like that's not the first time they fought, but that was the first time that Sasha won. Because spoiler, Sasha rolled her up last night for the victory. So again, maybe I just misheard that. So if anybody like picked that up in the chat or anything, just let us know. But yeah, maybe that's just what I was noticing.
Yeah, we might have to do a little bit of a fact checking on our part to find out if that was truly the case.
Right.
What was actually said.
And I just want to point out one of our viewers in the chat actually mentioned going back to the Street Profits match that they weren't red solo cups at NXT. So like basically they weren't always colored to the brand, like they weren't yellow ones over there. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. So maybe they won't have blue solo cups for the Street Profits.
I still say they should.
Yeah, why not? They could sell more solo cups.
Exactly.
So I'd be curious like if they actually sell them, because I remember when DX had the little pumpkin glow sticks, and those are like dollar store things, but they sold them for 15. So WWE can do a really good job marking them up, although not until fans can be back in the arena. Because I don't think anybody like you and I are going to say, "Oh, I can go to the grocery store and get these solo cups and throw them at my screen," or I can go to WWE Shop Zone. So, So I got to tell you, next Lord Cash was the highlight of the night for me, and unfortunately, I did not get a screenshot of it. So it was the return to form of a legend that was 20, 30 years in the making himself. The gobbledygooker took home the gold when he rolled up R-Truth to win that 24/7, 7-Eleven, 9/11, 84/62 European Championship. Did you catch that?
I did. I saw that on was during the pre-show that happened, and that was fantastic. R-Truth came out and was like, "Oh, you're talking about someone who's been in the business for 30 years, and this and that," and it's like, "Oh, it's the gobbledygooker. Come on out."
I loved it. And it was great. It's like the last time I had seen the gobbledygooker on TV, they changed his gear. So it didn't look like the old school. But last night it was retro. It looked perfect. And he had the old Bugs Bunny thing going on. We saw the bird seed, tiptoed over to it. Now, one of the highlights to that, Lord Cash, for me was just seeing him for sure. But did you pick up on anything when R-Truth won the belt back and it was the ninja referee that did the counting? Did you pick up on anything there?
I saw it happen, but I don't know. I don't think I picked up what you picked up.
He counted in Japanese.
Okay.
I'm like, wait a minute, he's counting in Japanese. I thought that was fantastic. I am one of the only people I feel that actually enjoyed the ninja gimmick. It was stupid, and it was like they had like a 30-minute match one pay-per-view, but I enjoyed it. I thought it makes Akira Tozawa actually stand out because they don't do anything else with him. He won the belt one time, but anyway, I thought that segment was fantastic. I thought it was funny. So I don't know. I thought it was amusing.
I definitely feel like I'm in the minority. You might be part of this boat as well, or maybe it was just that segment. But I like the 24/7 title.
I do too.
It's one of those things where the fact that it can be defended at any point in time, and I'm looking at it as a strategic, content / marketing piece. They're off the air right now. Now they just went on the air with Raw, but
as soon as you said that, one person left.
But prior to that allows them to have content outside of your SmackDown, your Raw, and what other pay-per-views that are going on to have see that title belt change.
Right.
You can give those production style matches that take place anywhere, anytime. So I've actually oh mercy, and I'm forgetting his name right now.
Rob Gronkowski?
No. He was the one that was always looking for R-Truth at the very beginning of the belt. He went to NXT.
Oh God. I don't know. It'll
Man,
come to us for sure. But I mean, like
exactly.
like obviously he had Akira Tozawa. Drew Gulak's doing it now. But God, it'll come to mind for sure in the middle of the main event. We're like, oh, him.
So, but anyways, while I was working and hanging out at the airport, I actually saw him twice coming in from wherever they were performing. And when he was in on his honeymoon, visiting his wife,
Drake Maverick.
there
Drake
we
Maverick.
go.
Yes.
I was there when he got to the airport with his wife. So when they were shooting that video, I was actually at the airport when that happened. So I thought that was amusing.
You should have rolled him up, Lord Cash. Should have rolled him up.
I should have, but I didn't have my boots.
Right. So we'll kind of go through the last three matches a little bit more rapid fire because we don't want people to like miss out on tonight's Raw because there'll probably be some major fallout from last night's show. The women's match, I don't know about you, I think it just fell apart. Some of the finishes were kind of curious, like when what's her face, one with the green hair, Ruby Riott. Like she got choked out by Shayna Baszler, but she didn't win that way, and then all of a sudden she just was eliminated. I don't know. I think that was kind of weird.
Well, I think in that case, like she was in the clutch, but the ref didn't notice that she had actually had Shayna Baszler pinned, and then by the time, or am I thinking was that the other one? But I know there's someone. I thought it was that was pinned, but the ref wasn't looking, and then they ended up passing out or something and was called out. But
yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was that particular
because
instance.
yeah, no, it was Shayna Baszler got DQ'd by I can't remember who. I did not write who she got DQ'd on.
She got DQ'd. Oh, let's see. Where is it? Well, she got DQ'd against somebody. It might have even been Lacey Evans.
Was it Bianca? No, not Bianca. That was the double.
It was because she suddenly forgot how to be a wrestler because it's not like she has been wrestling all these years. Also, she goes, "Oh wait, I got a break after 5." Yeah, I just thought this match was like it's not because of the participants even. It was sloppy. The Lana thing was again just my opinion. She stood out on the steps like weeping, and I think I sent you a picture of it. I know it's talking to other people like it looked like she was waiting for an elimination chamber.
Right.
Like she just didn't get the idea that they're not doing one this year. She's just standing there, and I'm like, who does that? It's like
Yeah. Well,
she's not 5. She didn't get put in the corner for stealing the cookie.
no, but she did get put through a table 9 times.
And she could
So
have put her through a table last night. I figured that'd be the payoff, not like, oh, you won because of happenstance.
right. So I necessarily wasn't really wasn't pleased with this one. Just the whole Lana bit, just didn't strike well with me. I'm just trying to figure out why the bully, happening to her, and because if I'm not mistaken, she was. I think they said this. She was the only one that actually earned her spot
Yeah.
onto the roster for Survivor Series, where the other 4 were just handpicked.
Other
So
than, yeah, for that team, absolutely. It was just, I don't know. I mean, they could have done better. We're not wrestlers, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So I can't speak to it, but I don't know. It also, like, this match out of all of them, too, like, brought to mind the whole so many matches end in roll ups, but so few matches end in impactful moves. And when, let's see, Lacey Evans, and I believe it was it Bianca Belair? I don't know. One of them did the Spanish Fly, which is that flipping rock bottom off the top rope.
yeah,
The skill needed to do that, the impact of it, and how it looks, that should be a finish. Like,
right,
because it doesn't make sense that they can do a flip and land like 15 feet in the sky and get out. Yet, if you just stumble over somebody's arm and land on your back with no impact, how do you lose?
yeah,
Like, I think that our young family members, Lord Cash, I think that they could probably pin us with a small package. They have no skill. It doesn't make any sense why small packages are the win. Last night there wasn't too many of them, thankfully, but I don't know. When I saw that Spanish flag, it drove me crazy when they didn't win with that.
yeah.
Bottom line, like you just said, though, Lana was the sole survivor in this match, and it is what it is.
Yep, we'll just have to see what the fallout is.
Right. I think following this was our ring main event. I thought this was easily the match of the night. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, battle of the two main champions, the Universal Champion and the WWE Champion. Fantastic match, back and forth. What did you think of this one?
Oh, it was really good. I liked them going at it, giving it to each other. You really, for the most part, you really weren't sure who was going to pull off the win for the night. And I thought it was just really well.
Yeah, I didn't honestly think that either one of them would win. I figured it'd be like a double disqualification or a count
Yeah,
out, something along those lines.
yeah,
Uh,
like someone's going to get involved, whether it was going to be, I know Jay came out towards the end and actually did do something. So I don't, and that I was also curious if it was going to be a clean win or if there was going to be some interference.
Oh, I think you got to keep them both strong. So I wasn't shocked that Jay came out once, basically knowing that it wouldn't be, a double DQ or double non-finish. It fit the story from earlier in the match when, in the night, I should say, when Jay Uso did lose his match, and Roman Reigns was just basically like, "Get out of here! I don't want to talk to you. You disgust me." So this gave Jay the in to be able to get on his good side again. And there was a really big like appreciation in the family. Um, it's unfortunate, Lord Cash, that this year Thanksgiving it's going to be so different. Because otherwise I would be using the head of the table or place at the table like all the time. It'd be, it would be. It's so catchy right now.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely going to get the extra turkey leg this year.
Absolutely. So again, guys, if you are joining us just right now, we want to say welcome. You are witnessing the Slam Nation. It's part of the New York Nerd Show. This is I'm All That Pat, joined as always by Lord Cash. Each and every week on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You on the Slam Nation, you'll basically see a split show. The first half of the show will be a retro look at one of the older shows from back in the day. You can always suggest them to us either through our Facebook page, over on YouTube's in the comments, or even here. But then the second half, we take a look at the week to come, whether it be on SmackDown, NXT, Monday Night Raw, anything that we basically that Lord Cash and we kind of go to talk to. Tonight we're going to be we're just reviewing last night's Survivor Series, which is celebrating the 30 years of the Undertaker, and that actually brings us up to our next event on the night, and that is the celebration of the dead man, the Undertaker himself. That's what we ended the night with. And again, Lord Cash, what were your thoughts? I mean, when it came down to this, I mean, there's such a legendary figure as you talked at the top of the hour. Well, 30-minute mark of the hour, I should say today. What did you anticipate? Did you have any thoughts going into this about the Undertaker?
So yeah, definitely an icon, a legend. One of those people that you've been in around the business a little bit. You're gonna know who the Undertaker is. Even fans of wrestling, you say name 5 wrestlers, and Undertaker is probably going to be in that list. As far as what to expect, they really didn't show their hand, so I really didn't know what was going to happen. Whether it was going to be him just coming out, um, looking out at the quote unquote audience, do his take off the jacket and hat and kind of leave and kind of leave it at that, or if he actually was going to say a speech to speak. I appreciate the fact that prior to it happening, Vince McMahon was on the mic and kind of giving a little praise to the Undertaker, and you could tell he was fighting back some emotions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, those two went to war with each other at each other's side. I mean, he was with Vince since 1990. So I mean,
Yeah,
he was there when the business was really soft in the early 90s. He was there when it was like the peak in the Attitude Era. He was there when the company was changing up, changing their name, changing to the Ruthless Aggression Era. He's been there through it all, thick and thin. So I mean, he's probably one of his best friends in the company, so to speak, as a
yeah,
boss can be. Um, but yeah, it was basic. It wasn't a whole lot. Ultimately, it was what it needed to be. I love the pallbearer imagery at the very end, and that weird electronic lightning keyboard that did the beginning of his song. What was that? It was so
the
cool.
Tesla. It was a Tesla coils, and actually played his theme music. I thought that was so. My takeaway is I just enjoyed seeing everybody come out and trying to guess who's going to be coming out next.
Hmm.
And I literally was like, I wonder if Jeff Hardy's going to be coming out. And then boom, his music hits, and I'm like, okay, so. And then it's like, okay, definitely, H is going to be out there, Michaels is going to be out there, everyone. Surprisingly enough, I did not think about Kane. It
What
just,
was fun? He was the only one in gear,
yeah.
which I thought was
Well,
so odd. He's wearing his tights, and I'm like, there's not going to be a match, just so you know.
and it's just because I don't know if like contractually he's obligated to be in that when he's Kane, especially now that he's mayor of wherever he is now. I think it's maybe in Tennessee or something.
I think so.
But
Glynn County, Tennessee, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, so the fact that he's mayor, they don't want quote unquote corporate Kane coming out. But I just enjoyed seeing everybody coming out to the ring. Um, was just really nice to see everybody, again hearing their music, them walking down to the ring, was just nice. Um, so the one thing that kind of I don't want to say disappointed me because in the moment I didn't know it, and that's because I missed the first half of the pre-show, and so that little music, the little vignette that they played at the end about the Undertaker, they actually showed it in the pre-show, and then you saw it again. And so I didn't notice that till today when I went back to catch the pre-show. That had I watched it, then the actual event of Undertaker would have held a little bit less. So I'm kind of glad I didn't do that.
You're right, yeah, because I can see that because that was one of the big things.
Yeah, that's what was being held as this is the farewell to Taker as the hashtag that was being used last night. So you pretty much, it's one of those things where how they have like those little computer programs where they say, all right, we're going to feed every single Stephen King novel into this algorithm, and we're going to have the computer write the next Stephen King book. I bet you if they took all of Undertaker's speeches over the past 30 years and piped out a speech, that is what the speech we got last night.
Yeah. No, I can see that for sure. So, guys, it's been a fantastic night for sure. And we really want to say thank you to all of you for joining us on our episode of Slamnation. This has been, AllThatPat and Lord Cash. Every week, we're going to be joining you at 7 p.m. on Monday, Eastern Standard Time for Slamnation. It's an hour-long look. First half of the show is going to be a nostalgic look at an old show, and then the second half is a preview of the week to come. Additional shows on the network do include Tuesdays at 8 p.m. We have Royal Rumble for Riches. Typically, it is a battle royal, a Royal Rumble type match with a different theme. Join Bitter Ritz and I at that show every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Additionally, please like, share, subscribe, and all those jazz based on whatever you are watching us on right now, whether it be Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, any of those things. And if you do subscribe, you'll get alerts to join Bitter Ritz and I on any kind of random shows, because we do like Blind Bag Bonanza, we do Eating with Us, we do like different reviews on different takeout companies, and we do different like this Mail Call and Call of the Wild. Just check it out. If you subscribe, you'll be able to get those alerts as we get to our normal schedule. Lord Cash, is there anything you'd like to leave our adoring fans with tonight?
Not at the moment. I'm just curious if we have any sneak peek previews of what next week we might be talking about, or more or less. I want to know, what are we talking about next week?
So, Lord Cash, I got to tell you, this is what I was thinking about. I was thinking that for some of you guys might not know this. Well, most of you guys don't know this. Lord Cash and I actually did the Slamnation many years ago on was it terrestrial radio, however you call it, and syndicated radio back in the early 2000s. And the first show that we ever covered was Judgment Day 2003.
There you
so
go.
It was either 2003 or 2002. It's basically when they brought back the Intercontinental title. Is 02 or 03 sound right?
I would have said, if I had to take a guess, but probably said maybe 04, but who knows?
Well, it's going to sound morbid, but it was 03 only because I know that Benoit wasn't the champion, and he wasn't even near it, I don't think. I think it was 03.
Okay.
Pretty positive. Well, here's the thing, guys. Bottom line, let's cover that show whenever it was, Judgment Day 2003. Does that work?
Tune in to find out which Judgment Day it is. Whether it's 2003, 2004, or the Terminator. We don't know.
Terminator Judgment Day. That might be a nice little thing, right? But I can tell you one thing, though. Lord Cash is an inside joke for you and I. I don't think Chicago is going to win the Intercontinental Champion.
Shut your mouth. I will still hold out. Chicago's going to
win. So, as always, guys, we really do appreciate your viewership tonight, and we're happy to have you on Slamnation as part of the New York Nerd Show Network. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed Monday Night Raw tonight and enjoy all the shows this week, and we will see you guys later.